The member for Maranoa then asked with respect to the Surat Basin, and I do acknowledge there has been, from the moment I took on the environment portfolio, engagement from the member for Maranoa, who does have strong views which in large part reflect many of the farmers in the area that he represents, with concerns about what coal seam gas could mean for their properties and for their water supply. My obligations are very strictly aligned to matters of national environmental significance under the Environmental Act, under the EPBC Act. And with that in mind, there are some issues which sometimes people would want me to take into account, which do not fall into consideration of the Act. The specific international examples that were quoted by the member, I know something about. There were some elements of detail that he raised tonight which went beyond some of the information that I had, and I thank him for providing that information to the House. The principal issue which did fall as a matter of national environmental significance was the impact that coal seam gas operations could have on the Great Artesian Basin. And effectively there are two different views of the science here, and they go to whether the coal seams are watertight or whether they are porous. And it is probable that there are some coal seams which represent one and some represent the other. Probably both theories in different examples are right. The fear is that if they are porous, when water is removed following the fracking process, that you will get the water from the rest of the Great Artesian Basin essentially seeping backwards and refilling the coal seams. If they are watertight, that is not a risk. The conditions that I put in place when I provided the approvals which affect the electorate demanded that individual testing happens seam by seam. If they are watertight, then the problems of the Great Artesian Basin do not come about. If they are in fact porous, then in those situations, whether it be repressurisation or whether it be re-injection, the company has an obligation to work in either way.
Minister?
The question then went on to ask, how does ongoing research play a role here? One of the conditions that I put in place for that region was the role and ongoing oversight of a scientific committee. I think one of the things that's very important here with any environmental conditions that are put in place, it's generally important, but I think with coal seam gas, when we're dealing with a new technology, it's really important to be able to have an adaptive management process. I think you need to have a situation where as new information comes to light, the rules can work with that, and if something that we had thought might have been a problem turns out to have been too precautionary, then a company will have a valid argument to say they want to see something revisited. If something is subsequently seen as having been not precautionary enough, then you want to get onto it earlier and have a process science-based that allows something to be revisited. And the role of the scientific committee, I do think, meets the ongoing research requests that were made by the member for Maranoa.